Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to chat to you about 3 ways Pokemon investing helps you enjoy the hobby more. And I think sometimes Pokemon investors will get a little bit of a bad name for themselves because sometimes people relate investing to scalping. And there's a massive difference between the two. Investing has been around for a very long time where people will buy something, let it sit, increase in value, and then sell it for more. And that's the whole idea behind investing, isn't it? But we've been tarnished maybe with this bad brush of scalping, which is where people sort of control the market and buy out products so other people can't, and then resell it for a higher price. And that's something like an instant flip or an instant turnover on, it controls the market and makes it a little bit unfair for people. That's not what I'm about on this channel. It's not what I advocate in any way, shape, or form. It's all about investing and adding an extra layer to the hobby. Now, before we get into those three things that I'm going to talk to you about, I just wanted to give another shout out to the pocketdex app. These guys are getting this app off the ground. I've promised them I'll shout it out for a fortnight. It's going great guns since I have been. A lot of you guys have been downloading it and also passing on some really valuable feedback in the comments, which the guys have chatted to me about and said it's awesome. This app is something they really want to get off the ground. It's starting to gain a heap of momentum, and there's a couple of things you can do in it. So it's a collecting app, of course. You enter your cards in. There's a real friends-based or community-based vibe to it where you can add your friends and see their collections, but also, of course, see your own. And then the big part is when you click into a set that you're trying to complete, it shows you the percentage of the set that you completed. But then if you go into singles, you can jump straight onto TCG Player by clicking the arrows at the bottom of the card, and you can literally buy a card that you haven't got for that set. So it makes it nice and easy. So if you haven't downloaded it, please do so. Anyway, on to the video today. 3 ways I think Pokemon investing is helping you enjoy the hobby more. The first one, which I'll get into the actual the first one, but here's a little point, right? Forever and a day, singles collecting has been the aim. Well, there's really been 2 parts since Pokemon's inception. Singles collecting and then building a deck and battling someone. That is the whole idea behind the game. It's a collectible card game, but it's also a card game that, of course, you play and versus other people with. Now, recently, of course, there's been this new sealed collecting come to the forefront where people will buy booster boxes and elite trainer boxes and collect them just for the fun of it or love of it. And this has brought in a real element to the hobby that we've never really seen before, and that is money. And I know that sounds a bit cliche and bad, but isn't it sort of an extra element of fun to see that something you buy actually goes up in value? Because quite often in life, we go through life, of course, spending heaps of money, whether it's clothes or bills, and we never see that money again. Like, we spend the money and then it disappears. Everything just devalues so rapidly. We live in this society where everything's just so replaceable and throwawayable, and we just waste money on lots of things. Isn't it great to now have a hobby or add an extra element to the hobby where you can buy something, let it sit, and rather than waste your money, yes, you get to enjoy looking at it and enjoy the product, but it actually goes up. And if you choose to sell it in the future, you could be making money. Like, isn't that just such a cool extra element that's been added to the hobby? And here's just a couple of examples, of course. I won't say I'm picking on Fusion Strike. I know I've used it a fair bit lately because it's sort of the flavor of the month, isn't it? But if you look at Fusion Strike, like, I'm just going to bring up the Gengar VMAX over the last 3 months. You can see it's moved from about $220 US to $286 US. So maybe you bought this card as part of your collection. You thought, sweet, I really want this. Beautiful artwork. You spent $220, which isn't a small amount of money. This is US, of course. However, if you have a family of 5 or something at home and you're doing the weekly shop, you could well be spending $220 US a week on your weekly shop. And then all of that money is just essentially being thrown away. So isn't it nice to spend $220 US and now all of a sudden 3 months later, your Gengar VMAX is worth $286 US. So you've actually made a profit on it. Doesn't that just add a cool extra element to the hobby? And of course, the booster box as well. These things, of course, have been skyrocketing. Look at them now, up to $239 US. Of course, when they sold out on Pokemon Center just recently, it's obviously sent prices to the absolute moon, and they've just gone bang, haven't they? And like I said, doesn't that just add an extra cool element? You can buy it, sit in your collection, get to look at it, enjoy it. The box is a hard one because you probably want to open it thinking there might be a Gengar VMAX inside there, or an Espeon VMAX, or a Celebi V Altar, or a Mew V or VMAX. But hey, it's just cool to be able to sit it there and watch it marinate and go up in value. Marinate, that's a pretty poor word for Pokemon card investing, isn't it? But you get what I mean. The second thing I wanted to chat to you about, the whole idea behind Pokemon investing, and another, I suppose, way that it makes it more fun, is that it can give you some new goals to your collection. So typically in the past, when people collected Pokemon cards, the only real goal was, let's see if I can do a master set. Let's see if I can get as many Rayquaza cards as I can. Let's see if I can get as many Charizard cards as I can. Let's have a Charizard section to my binder, Rayquaza section to the binder. But it was really just that, which of course is heaps of fun, but you can add some, I suppose, value goals into your collection, can't you? And this relates obviously strongly back to the first point with the money side of it, but you might want to buy, which I know is, I'm talking a lot of money, but you might have spent $5,000 on Sword and Shield and Sun and Moon booster boxes across the journey. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, let's see if I can get this $5,000 to a $10,000 value. And as you're making that collection over time, all of a sudden you're seeing it just appreciate in value, and your $5,000 collection becomes a $10,000 collection. So I guess it adds this extra element of collectible goals to your Pokemon collecting journey, which is a really cool one. And the third one I wanted to chat to you about is it allows you to rotate through your collection. So what I mean by that is typically in the past, when it comes to collecting Pokemon cards, like I was saying, most people would sort of get into the hobby, they would buy the cards that they wanted to get, and maybe then they would exit the hobby pretty quickly, maybe after a year or 2 years, or maybe they'd hang around for 3 or 4 years, but they sort of buy the cards they want, or open packs they want, pull cards they want, put them in a binder, and then go, I'm sort of over it, I'm sort of done with the hobby. And then they'd put it away in their cupboard, and we see it all the time, don't we? Because you still see, if you're on the Pokemon investing Reddit forum or Facebook groups, you still see people just come out of the closet and go, come out of the closet. Oh man, I'm coming up with some doozies tonight, aren't I? Anyway, you see people pull collections out of the closet and they're just like, hey, look at the cards that I had as a kid. We might have, Fossil Hollows, Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos, Dragonite, Gengar. We might have base set Hollows. And, I spent 2 years collecting these cards as a kid, but they've been locked in an attic or the basement or the cupboard for 25 years. And that's what I mean. Or we see it with, Heart Gold, Soul Silver cards. Look at these Prime cards that I found. Or we see it with Black and White cards. Here's a gold bordered Charizard, secret rare. And even up to XY era, people are coming out and saying, hey, look at these cards that I collected during the Pokemon Go craze, which I sort of, went in for 6 months and then left the hobby. So what I'm getting at is, it now allows you this new forum to be able to rotate through your collection. And that, coupled with, of course, plenty of applications and ways around selling cards, whether it's Facebook groups or eBay or TCG Player, it allows you not just to sort of get over the hobby, put it to the side and re-pick it up 25 years later. It allows you to keep cycling through your collection, whether that be sealed collection or whether that be single collection. It allows you to rotate through. You might buy, 2 booster boxes of each Sword and Shield set that come out. And now that, let's pick on Fusion Strike. Maybe you bought 2 booster boxes at release for $90 US, and now they're sitting at $239 after fees and taxes and everything else in between, and the cost to ship out the box. Let's say, just for argument's sake, you've doubled your money. You're probably a bit more than doubled your money after all the fees involved in selling and postage, etc. But let's just say, for argument's sake, you've doubled your money. You've now essentially covered the cost of that second box because you bought 2. You've still got 1, and now you can recycle that money to keep the collection going. So I guess the whole premise and what I'm trying to say is that this third point is, because it allows you to rotate the collection over, either by selling singles or selling sealed product, making a profit and then moving on to the next one, it keeps you in the hobby for longer, which is great. We want people to stay in the hobby. It's a sweet, super fun hobby to have. So I guess that just about summarizes the videos. Hey, if you've got any comments, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear your points about, and who knows, there could be 4th or 5th ways that the hobby or in Pokemon investing, of course, keeps you interested in having fun in the hobby. If you have some other ideas, please leave them down below. I just wanted to give a big shout out to everyone. The comments that people put through in the comment section is, hugely appreciated. Everyone's always being super positive. There's some good conversation sometimes that happens between different people in there. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be even doing this channel. So thanks heaps. I'm Michael. This is PokeOz, and I'll catch everyone next time.